I'm Diego Sanchez, president of HousingWire, and this is 10-Minute Talks. My guest today is Will Fisher, EVP of Non-QM at Kind Lending. Will, welcome to 10-Minute Talks.
Oh, thanks for having me, Diego. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's so great to have you on. Before we dive in, could you give a 60-second introduction of yourself and Kind Lending?
Sure. Well, my name is Will Fisher. I'm the EVP over here at Non-QM here at Kind Lending. Moved over to Kind Lending about a little over a month ago from a company called Loan Strain. Previous to that, I was a company called ARC. And I'm overseeing all our non-QM redeployment and product, building, kind of rebuilding everything from the ground up to put Kind Lending on the map for non-QM. I've been in non-QM since 2013. Previous to that, subprime and in lending all the way back to 2004. But these last 10 years in non-QM, got to work with some great people at some great companies and build some phenomenal product and watch this space, completely evolve over those last 10 years to now where it's very steady and a big part of the lending landscape. Kind is a rebirth, if you will. If you remember Stearns Lending and how big they were, run by Glenn Stearns, legend in the space, Kind is basically a rebirth of Stearns, but in a much different type of approach, and hence the name Kind Lending. So we're helmed by our CEO, Glenn Stearns, and his wife, Mindy, and we're about 3 years old, a little over 3 years old now, and a complete player in the lending landscape, with volumes north of 400, 600 million a month just in agency of Prime. And now looking to increase that with our non-QM product. So we're pretty excited, and it's a great place to be. I'm happy to be here.
That's great. So why have you made the choice in your career over the past, good long stretch to be focused on non-QM? What excites you about non-QM?
Oh, it's fun. The loans, it's real. I don't want to say it's real lending, but it kind of is. You really have to get in there with these loans. Don't get me wrong, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, DULP, that's all fun. With non-QM, they're story loans. And they're loans for borrowers who don't, fit into kind of the dogmatic prescription of full doc, whether it's W-2 or it's tax returns. And so there's a little bit more to learn about these borrowers so they can show you how they make income, so you can get comfortable making them a loan. Also, we get to look at different ways of financing, different property types, looking at things more from a business perspective, like our DSCR product or investment properties, as opposed to, the full underwrite from the tax returns. And the performance on the loans are fantastic. And I'll just say it's a little bit more fun, on the non-QM side of things.
It's good to have fun at work.
Yes, absolutely.
So you've been doing non-QM for a couple of different lenders. Why did you decide to make the move to Kind Lending?
Great question. This wasn't an easy decision. There's a lot of factors you have to think about when you're going to make any type of move in this space, and what the impacts are going to be. For me, I wanted to go somewhere, number one, where, there was a lot of trust and they stood by their word. And it also has a platform that we can grow, and a commitment to the space. And that's what I really liked about this team. They don't just want to have non-QM as a bolt-on. They want to make that part of their DNA. And for any lender out there who just wants to strap on non-QM, it doesn't really work that way. You have to make some internal changes and really learn how to swim in this lane. Once you do, you can get very good at it. But it does take that kind of commitment. And Kind, of all the places I looked at, was willing to make that commitment. They've got an amazing leadership team, all the way back from the Stearns days. So tons of experience, And I think for anybody out there who's looking to make a move, you want to have some type of person that wants to can mentor you and have an experience where you can learn, not just where you're giving everything but you're also learning something as well. And I think this organization definitely checks all the boxes. So, it's a new challenge. It's what I like to do. I like to build.
Yeah, that's great. And I imagine that good access to capital is important when you're building a new channel for a lender, but also probably in non-QM. I guess you probably have that backing of Kind Lending.
Oh yeah. Once again, when your CEO is kind of a legend in this space, or is a legend in the space, sorry, that part of it, we're not terribly worried about. That's covered off from multiple angles. I mean, obviously you have warehouse lines and capacity there, and then also, making sure your budgets and your P&L and everything are straight. And once again, this company, among many others, stands head and shoulders above the rest, having that dialed in.
Several big non-QM lenders have pulled back pretty significantly over the past 18 to 24 months as we've been experiencing challenges in the broader housing market. What opportunity are you seeing, well, you and Glenn, seeing in non-QM, where you have competitors that maybe aren't seeing that opportunity?
So, when you say pull back, it's kind of funny because for the last 12 months, I've actually seen, we were going full throttle. We were actually bringing out more product and expanding product, and adding more staff to handle the volume. So I think, you've got to run an efficient operation, number one. And if you hit those efficiencies, adding non-QM and the different product types and staff to support that will start to foot and take care of itself. Where the pullback, I think you're seeing, are folks who maybe don't have their operation completely locked down with their efficiencies, maybe don't have a great relationship with their secondary partners, potentially aren't delivering consistently, or flat out are kind of tourists in the space. And you can't be that and expect to reap the benefits of what non-QM can do. So for us, we see where we need to be. We know how to get there. And now it's about execution and just, putting one step in front or 1 foot in front of the other and getting to where we want to be in volumes. So I'm not really concerned of any pullbacks. If anything, the higher rates are better for folks in the non-QM space. Low rates are great for everybody, but when rates go up, non-QM lenders typically do better because you're now uncovering more borrowers who weren't being touched before by brokers, loan officers, who are going after more of the low-hanging fruit type borrowers.
So it sounds like you have executive buy-in for your channel at Kind Lending, but you're up against some competitors that are pure play non-QM. How do you plan to take market share from some of those experts in the space?
Great question. So that was also part of my decision of why I chose Kind. Right now their paper execution is fantastic. And a lot of that comes down to the experience that Kind provides brokers. From the interface with their account manager, with their account executive, and with our technology interface, it makes the whole process very smooth. So adding in non-QM, quite frankly, is a task, but when you see the results of how the experience changes and gets better for the broker, it's kind of a no-brainer that brokers are going to want to come back for more. We're going to make it easier for them. We truly are going to be a one-stop shop for the mortgage broker community to submit loans. They don't have to search out, other lenders that maybe are more non-QM focused or only non-QM focused, when they can get best of breed agency and non-QM at one shop.
Really interesting answer and makes a lot of sense. Well, Will, it's been great having a conversation with you today. Really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Diego.